In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the alternate art cards from Evolving Skies and seeing where they're at today. Have they been seeing rises over the last few months, or are they on the decline? Let's discuss it in today's video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VMAT. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and joining all the fun we have here. And today we're going to be doing an Evolving Skies video. I just can't get enough of this set. I love talking about the set because still, there is no sets that come anywhere near it from the Sword and Shield era, from the Scarlet and Violet era, although some people have made comparisons like Twilight Masquerade. I just don't see the case. You have so many amazing alternate art cards in this set that it truly is a home run, and it is something that I don't know if they'll be able to replicate in the future. I think Sun and Moon team up is probably the most comparable thing in the last 6 or 7 years to Evolving Skies, but when it comes to future sets, who knows if we're gonna find another set like this, because this was just unbelievable. With that being said, why don't we discuss the very first alternate art card, and that is the Glaceon V. Now, it is currently sitting at $66 for its near mint hollow foil market price. It actually went up by 13.05% over the last 6 months, but if you look at the 3-month trend, it is not looking good here. 34.66% decline. If you look at the 1-month trend, it's lost 7.42%. So it's not going down incredibly fast, though it just isn't really seeing a lot of investor buy-ups in the market right now. I think a lot of people are going for the light play stuff now. A lot of the investors or people who want to get their cards graded, I think a lot of them have already purchased their copies, and now it's kind of softening a bit, and people who are just looking to have their binders out, people collect sets and they just want to get nice clean copies, not necessarily gradable copies, but light play stuff. And you'll see a little bit later on in the video when I do some comparisons to some of the more expensive cards, like the light play versus the near mint on some of them. You'll see that the light play actually not only is selling better, but they're having upwards trajectory, which is kind of crazy. Next up on the list is Leafeon V alternate full art. Now, it is currently sitting at $70.09 for its near mint hollow foil market price. It's actually lost 5.17% over the last month. If you look at the 3-month trend, 21.85% decline. If you look at the 6-month trend here, it's actually went up by 21.41%, but it really looks like it really kind of peaked at May 20th and May 26th at $95 with 22 near mint copies being sold, and ever since then, it's really been on the decline, which I find kind of fascinating. I've also discussed this in a few other videos. I feel like June was the absolute peak for a lot of these cards, a lot of the cards in the Sword and Shield era, a lot of the boxes. It feels like ever since June, a lot of stuff, a lot of collectibles are on the decline. Next up is Sylveon V alternate full art. Now, it is sitting at $74.03 for its near mint hollow foil market price. It's actually lost 21.73% of its value over the last 3 months. If you look at the 1-month trend, it's actually gained 1.55%, which is kind of surprising because a lot of the cards you'll see on the list have lost value over the last month. If you look at the 6-month trend, you can see, yes, similar, where it kind of popped up at its highest price point in June, and then it's kind of been on the decline ever since, though it is up by 26.63% over the last 6 months. Next up, Espeon V. I love Espeon. I still think the Espeon from Neo is still my favorite card from the Neo block. I just love that card so much, and this one just fills me with just incredible nostalgia. I love it, even though it's not an old card. I just love Espeon as a Pokemon. Now, it is sitting at $87.20 for its near mint hollow foil market price. It's actually lost 3.81% over the last 3 months. If you look at the 1-month trend, you can see that it's up by 0.95%, and the 6-month trend will show you very similar, although this one actually went at its all-time high in May 13th to May 19th at $114.65 with 17 near mint copies sold. Next up on the list is Rayquaza V alternate full art. Beautiful card. Again, it is sitting at $111.19 for its near mint hollow foil market price, which means it's actually declined by 7.34% over the last 3 months. If you look at the 1-month trend, it's pretty much been completely stable. It's lost 0.09%, which is completely null and void, really, in my opinion. Now, the 6-month trend will show you, again, this one at the middle to end of May is where it saw its all-time high, and it has actually stabilized pretty much since the beginning of July. It's still up by 46.54%, so still incredible gains. Just it's been losing a lot of value ever since the end of spring, really, and beginning of summer. Next up is Dragonite V Alternate Full Art. Beautiful card here. It is sitting at $135.52 for its near mint hollow foil market price. The 1 month trend will show you that it's actually up by 9.82%. One of the very few cards on the list that's actually went up in price over the last month, I'd say. Month, obviously, I don't know why I'm saying month, I'd say. 1 month, jeez, I can't even talk today. And if you look at the 6 month trend, this one also had similar movement where its highest price point was end of May and beginning of June at $193.48. Then it's been on the decline kind of ever since, although the last month will show you that it has actually been on the rise. So it's actually went up by 27.85% over the last 6 months. Next card on the list is Umbreon V Alternate Full Art. Beautiful card here. I love the artwork on this. I just think, in my opinion, I still think that the artwork on this, it's just a little bit more relatable to like the show. It's not as abstract as the Umbreon. I personally really enjoy this card. It is sitting at $141.49 for its near mint hollow foil market price, which means it's actually lost 18.96% of its value. And again, if you look at the 1 month trend, it's lost 3.88%, and the 6 month trend will show you that it's actually up by 26.77%. And again, at the, around spring is when it really started its decline. Next up is Sylveon VMAX, the first VMAX on today's list. The alternate art for this card is currently sitting at $190.14 for its near mint hollow foil market price. It's actually lost 24.83% of its value over the last 3 months, really on a ski slope right there. And if you look at the 1 month trend, it's kind of null and void. It's only really lost 0.6%, 0.67% of its value. If you look at the 6 month trend, you can see it really peaked again, right around the start of, well, I guess the end of spring, and really started to decline ever since then. But it's still up by 42.07% over the last 6 months. Glaceon VMAX, another EV evolution. It's sitting at $235.45 for its near mint hollow foil market price. It's actually lost 25.44% of its value in the last 3 months. If we look at the 1 month trend, it's lost 11.45%. And if you look at the 6 month trend, it's up by 52.72%. And again, similar where, it really went up in price in June and then just kind of slowly went on its decline. Next up is Leafeon VMAX, the alternate art secret rare, the only alternate art VMAX that I've pulled from this set. It is currently sitting at $270.08 for its near mint hollow foil market price. It's actually lost 22.82% of its value over the last 3 months. If you look at the 1 month trend, you can see that's lost 7.24%. And if you look at the 6 month trend, it's actually up by 66.88%. Now, let's check on conditions here. So unfortunately, this one does not have any light play copies. It's actually off screen, my cursor right now. It's looking at damage or near mint. So unfortunately, there's nothing to compare it to, but let's check out the Rayquaza VMAX. It's sitting at $401.56 for this card. It's down 14.07% over the last 3 months, but it's actually on the rise, 4.44% up over the last month. And if you look at the 6 month trend, very similar movement. Again, in the end of May, beginning of June is where it peaked, and it's been on its decline pretty much ever since. It's up by 49.71%. But let's see if there's any other conditions. Yes, we have lightly played here. As you can see, lightly played is sitting at $287.70. It went up by 36.49% over the last 6 months. But you really start to see the rise pretty much middle of August, early August. As you can see, it really just started to go up like crazy. People started seeing how expensive this card is, and I think a lot of the investors, they've already got their copies, because you can see just the amount of sold listings here. It was pretty much like completely quiet. Then all of a sudden, it starts to go up in price, and it's went up by 16.48% over the last 3 months. And the 1 month trend will show you it's kind of flat, but you're not seeing too many of these really, really rare cards being sold. So, a few sold listings can really skew the market and skew the data a bit. But as you can see, the light play version of this card is really on the rise. Now let's take a look at Umbreon VMAX, the alternate secret art here. It is up by 3.22% over the last 3 months. It's sitting at $900, $899.24 to be exact. Over the 1 month trend, it's actually up by 8%. And if you look at the 6 month trend, you can see that it's up by 38.55%, with it, again, middle of May at its highest price point, and then it's kind of stabilized ever since then. Still a very, very desirable card. And let's see the lightly played version. It's up by 37.17% over the last 3 months. And if you look at the last 3 months, it's up by 14.75%, sitting at $705.78. What a phenomenal set. I can't believe the prices of these cards, even still to this day, they still shock me. I just love it. Near mint is kind of going to the wayside now. A lot of the people are going for the lightly played to fill out their collection, which I completely understand. And again, when it comes to sellers on TCG Player, some people could see something as light play, but then to you, that might be near mint, right? They might overlook certain details. You might miss a few things when you're getting a card that you think is near mint. So it's a lot of it, unless you're a professional grader, will kind of be up to the eye of the buyer, right? Of the eye of the beholder, I guess. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's the phrase, right? Anyways, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.